Happy Tuesday. Welcome to First Take exclusively on YouTube. That is Shannon Sharpe and Stephen A. Smith. I'm Molly Qerim, and we got news, fellas, in the boxing world. Undisputed super middleweight champion Canelo Alvarez has decided to face Jermall Charlo and then Terence Crawford, both in 2024. That according to Salvador Rodriguez of ESPN. Canelo, 62-2, 39 KOs, took down Jermall's twin brother back in September, the first bout of Alvarez's 3-fight deal with PBC. Now, Charlo versus Canelo is reported to take place Cinco de Mayo weekend, with Crawford versus Canelo slated for September. SA, you're up first. Your reaction to that news?
I'm pretty pissed off. I'm very, very pissed off about this. I don't like it at all. First of all, Charlo, and I'm assuming this is the natural middleweight Charlo, not the Charlo Canelo just beat. This guy, openly, I root for him, Shannon Sharpe, I truly do, but he's had some personal issues, which is why he's been away from the boxing game for so many years, okay? We all know that his little brother had no business in the ring with Canelo simply because he was undersized, moving up 2 weight classes to fight the powerful Canelo. The minute he hit him and saw that it couldn't affect him, all of a sudden, Canelo started stalking him from the second round on, for crying out loud. We know that his bigger brother hasn't been fighting that much, so I'm worried about that. But here's the biggest reason that I'm pissed off. Canelo Alvarez, it doesn't matter who he fights, he's going to get paid. Because we know that that contingent that follows him is damn near like a cult following. I say that in a complimentary fashion, not in any negative fashion whatsoever. They love this man. They revere this man. They follow him wherever he goes. He's one of the biggest, if not the biggest draw in boxing. Canelo Alvarez is spectacular. But there's a dude by the name of David Benavidez, who is a super middleweight, Shannon. He is 28-0 with 24 knockouts. And he has been waiting for years to fight Canelo Alvarez. And Canelo Alvarez has been avoiding him. Now, this is not right. This is the problem about it. See, this is why I love Dana White so much with the UFC. Because when the public clamors for a fight, you're going to fight that person. You're not going to be able to avoid them for years and not fight. You get in an argument in the streets, and Dana White will be like, y'all going to go in the octagon. We're going to get paid for this. Y'all going to settle this in the damn octagon, okay? Boxing promoters hold fans hostage, make you wait for years. They're all guilty of it. They're all guilty of it. And I'm sick of it, okay? David Benavidez has waited years. How much better can it get, Shannon, when you 28-0 with 24 KOs and you waiting for the dude? Terence Crawford not fighting Boots Ennis. I love Boots Ennis, who's undefeated and stuff like that, and I get that. But Terence Crawford had just had his mega fight. He hasn't been in Canelo Alvarez's position for years where you have your pick of the litter because you're the draw and you can fight whoever you choose to fight, okay? Canelo Alvarez, how many fights are you going to have before you avoid giving Benavidez the chance he so richly deserves? I'm really ticked off about it. It ain't right. It ain't right.
I get what you're saying, Stephen A., but guys have figured out the sport of boxing that if I can make $20 million and fight somebody that I know I can beat, why would I take a chance and fight somebody for $30 million? And that's what these guys do. And the differences between boxing and UFC, you might be the champion, but you don't control anything. Dana White still controls it. And so if you're the champion, you're going to fight the number 1 contender. It ain't I think I want to fight the number 10 contender because I think I got a greater chance of beating him. That's not how it works in UFC, but that's how it works because what guys are trying to do now, and I love Floyd Mayweather, but what he did was ruin the sport of boxing because everybody is worried about that zero. And some guys that got zero says, well, if I get any more losses than what I already have, I'm going to be judged more harshly. And when they talk about great fighters, they're not going to give me my due because I'm going to have 3 or 4 losses. And that's what's happening. Guys won't fight anybody that the fans want to see or a fighter that's deserving. You're absolutely right. David Benavidez deserved the fight Canelo, but Canelo doesn't want to fight him because he knows there's a greater chance of him losing versus Benavidez versus bigger Charlo. And so that's what – now, Am I gonna go see the if it happens, Bud Crawford? Oh, absolutely. We'll be there, Stephen A. We'll see Bud Crawford and Canelo, and I want to see that fight. But I would rather see him fight Benavidez. I agree with you. I'd rather see a natural 168 fight a natural 168 as opposed to Bud
147
Crawford,
moving up.
147 moving up to 160. Now, he probably can, what does Bud, you think Bud walks around naturally as?
About
Probably
165, 165, 160.
Okay, yeah, okay. So it's not a big stretch for him to go. But you have to understand, when Canelo fights at 168, he's probably dropping down from 190, maybe 200.
That's right, exactly. And they know that better than we do, which is why it's a travesty to ask your Canelo Alvarez, as powerful as it'd be one thing if your game was predicated, your fight game was predicated on your boxing skills, and that's it. In Canelo's case, it's predicated on his power. Okay, he knocked out Kovalev years ago, who was a natural light heavyweight, even though Kovalev was finished. We get all of that. Okay, you lost to Bivol. Obviously, losing to Bivol didn't affect his marketability. So why wouldn't you fight David Benavidez? And last but not least, before we transition, I want to come to the defense of Floyd Money Mayweather in this regard. Yeah. I will remind the world that Floyd Mayweather Jr. was knocking cats out at a junior welterweight and at a lightweight.
Oh, to his hands.
When he moved up, his hands got bad. He'd walk in there with bad hands, knowing that it was a slim to none chance that he could knock you out, and made himself a pariah, utilized his phenomenal, superb boxing skills, and would simply embarrass you with his skill work. And he got you to pay to look for him to lose when you couldn't make it happen. But he was knocking cats out and fighting all comers before he moved up. I'm looking at Canelo, and I'm like, yo, you that dude. You that dude. Why are you not fighting? It'll be one thing to avoid it for a fight or two. But when you are literally cherry-picking one after another, numerous fights where you are passing up David Benavidez, it is a travesty. It is a travesty that that fight has not happened. David Benavidez deserves the shot at the crown, at the giant. He deserves that shot, and he should get it.
Yeah, but Canelo doesn't believe Charlo can beat him. That's why. But Steve, I'm not going to take, if you tell me I can get a fight for $20 million, and I believe there's an 85-90% chance I can win, as opposed to taking a fight for $30 million and there's 50-50.
I agree with that, Shannon. I agree with that, Shannon, if you talk about a couple of fights. But at some point in time, you fight in 6, 7 different fights avoiding this guy.
Yeah.
Damn.
You're saying like the UFC.
And I'm making $100 and $120 million with no chance of me losing.
He'll make double that.
All right. So one of you wants to see the action. One of you's thinking like a businessman.
I'm saying, think about it.
I respect both of you.
He's been doing the business.
I'm going to be real with you.
He's been doing the business.
I respect both angles. Love you guys, but I got to go. All right? Thanks for watching. Be sure to watch First Take Monday through Friday.
So we finished the segment because you got to run to the deli. You got to run. You got to run. That's why
Did you have to say the deli?
Right, or whatever.
I mean,
get food. We know it's because you go get some food.
Watch us Mondays at 10 a.m. Eastern.
Far be it if your lunch hour is 10 minutes late.
To go.
You know what I'm saying?